Hi, I'm Alex Martinez, and this is Crash Course African American Studies. And today I'm going to teach you all about Richard Wright. Richard Wright was born in September of 1908 in Mississippi. His grandparents were slaves and his father was a sharecropper. He grew up in poverty, and his father left home when he was only 5 years old, so he was passed around between relatives. He was only able to complete school through the 9th grade, but was good with words. His story got published in a Southern African American newspaper and gave him a taste of his future. When he grew up, he worked several jobs in the South, but like many black people looking for opportunity, he moved up north. First to Memphis, where black people were not allowed in public libraries. In order to get access to the books from those libraries, he would forge notes saying he could use his white coworker's library card. Later, he moved to Chicago, where he started working unskilled jobs. He swept streets and worked at a post office. During this time, there was a Great Depression, and Wright fell deep into poverty. He became frustrated with the capitalism in America and decided to join the Communist Party in 1932. Eventually, he got the opportunity to write through the Federal Writers Project. With his dream of being a published author, he moved to New York in 1937, looking for a better chance. And a published author is exactly what he achieved. First, he got a position as the Harlem editor of the Communist Daily Worker. In 1938, Wright published Uncle Tom's Children, which is a collection of 4 stories that did become popular. In 1940, he published Native Son, which was a novel about a 20-year-old African-American man. It was at the top of the bestseller list and really started his fame. It was even turned into a movie, and Wright played the role of the main character. Let's take a look at the thought bubble for a summary.
Bigger Thomas is a 20-year-old black man living in poverty in Chicago in the 1930s. His mindset is not good due to all the racism he has faced, and he believes he can't be anything other than a labor worker making a low income. He thinks he has no control over his life. He gets presented with a good job opportunity, but instead chooses to plan a white man's robbery with his gang. They had only previously robbed black-owned businesses. He fears going through with the robbery because he sees white people as an oppressive force, but he has to keep a tough image, so instead of backing out, he attacks a member of his gang so he won't have to do the robbery. As a last option, he ends up taking the job as a chauffeur for a rich white man. But this man and his partners are also Bigger's landlords, who are, in a way, robbing the poor black people living in their apartments by the way they make them rent. While on his job as a chauffeur, he accidentally kills the daughter of the man he works for. He burned the body, so the family just thinks she went missing. So he was able to write a letter asking for ransom money if they want her back. Bigger ends up in jail. This led to a change in his mindset, and he began to see white and black people as equal. Unfortunately, he is sentenced to the death penalty despite the argument that Bigger is a native son, meaning he is a product of his environment, being the racism in America.
This was an important message and shows how his writing was his way of advocating for racial equality. In 1945, he published another book called Black Boy. This was an autobiography, so it was especially important because it talked about his life and his journey. He talked about what it was like growing up as a black boy in the South. The reader gets an idea of how it was being in severe poverty and what the racial violence was like. Thanks for watching this Crash Course video. I'll see you next time. Here are the credits.